So, hello folks, I'm Aditya Pahilwani. Again, the same introduction because in my slide I can't do anything about it. Sorry for it. Yeah. So, we are going to create this beautiful animation with React Native Reanimated 2. Now, I know the GIF is very bad, but I can't do anything about it. Very sorry for it. Now, this whole animation and the whole component making is a bit long. So, we are going to just cut the processes and just see what's going to happen. So first we got a boiler code, then we will understand the logic and we will add some animation to translate our tabs. Then there are some solutions. So there is basically much more things which you don't care about right now. So I'm going to just skip this and I'm going to explain side by side. So this is our constant file, what it got, okay? It got nothing special. It got a icon array having the name and the color, and it got icon container, uh, just a constant size. The tab blocks. So the tab blocks are the blocks of bottom navigation holding a specific icons. Okay. Now I'm specifically calculating their width by width divided by the number of icons. Very smart logic, and just a constant to have an active index and a constant having the height of bottom bar height and a constant for just keeping the width of bottom bar. I love to have play around with constants, so you can just ignore it too. But these two things which are going to be very helpful for us are icon container and tab block constants. So this is our style file. It got nothing special here, to be honest. If you look at it, it's very simple. We got one bottom tab which uh, got height and width of the same constants which I showed you earlier. We got a tab container using our construct of tab block. We got an icon container using our construct of the same construct which I mentioned earlier, the icon container. Now you might ask that why we are specifying the height and the width so specifically, why it's not in percentages or any stuff like that. I'll come on to it later, but that will make more sense when I will show you afterwards. Now we got one special style here, which is selected container. Now the container is the one which is moving around the bottom navigation bar, translating it. Now we got a property here, which is bottom, doing some calculation. Why we have to do it? Because it's very simple. If I position it absolute, it will start its spin from here, like the zeroth of our bottom bar, but we won't need that. What we actually need that it should be positioned at the same position wherever icon containers are. Correct. So this is a very small calculation. What we do is that we divide our bottom bar height by 2. So if this is our bottom bar, our position will point at this location. But our icon container didn't started paint from there, correct? So we just go a little down here. So that's why our paint will be totally fine, right? It will align the selected container properly from the bottom. Okay, now going to the next slide. I know these are some crazy animations. Okay, so this is our main component and it got nothing. As you can see, we got one animated view. The animated is from Reanimated, and we are just mapping out our icons array which I showed you earlier in constant file, and we are displaying our tabs. Okay. Uh, Again, as you see here, we are doing nothing special. We are using the same style which I showed you earlier. Now let's go. This will be the output from our Boiler code. Our Boiler code is very finished, and as you can see, our selected icon container is positioned absolutely at the correct position because of the logic I showed you earlier. Okay. Now, moving forward, let's understand our UI, okay, or the logic. So, currently, what we need is that the icon containers should translate on the selected index, right? It should move like this, or whatever the selected index is, correct? Now, the problem is that we need the exact positions to translate our containers. Okay, now you might suggest that let's use on layout and get the X and Y position of the icon containers. But if you have been working with React Native, you know that it's a very expensive operation. So that's why I use some constant so we can avoid on layout. Okay, total magic. It's not magic, it's the simple mesh to be honest. So before moving on that complex thing, let's understand our UI. Now the blue colors are our tab containers, as I showed you earlier, which have a width divided by icons of length. So as you can see here, the gray colored is our icon containers. Okay, this is just to show you what's how our UI is behind the scenes. The blue color is our tab container, gray is icon containers. We need both of these to translate our icons. This is the same thing because if the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share you the same set for your future reference. So I'm going to just ignore that for now. So this is our main component, and this is the main magic behind no on layouts. So what you're doing here, okay? It's very simple. We are going to take our selected index dot value, okay, and we are going to multiply it by tab log. Let's just suppose our tab log was 25. So it will be like 0 into 25, 0. It will addition with tab log plus 2. So this is our tab log. And now tab log divided by 2 will give us a position of this position at the exact center. But that's not where icon container paint started, correct? That's why we are going to do a very smart trick. We are going to just subtract the half part of icon container. So our paint will be properly aligned respect to the icon containers. So a little math and it does a lot of magic, to be honest, because we are skipping on layouts and that's a very performant benefit we are getting here. Now as you can see, our containers are moving quite fine. Yeah, as you can see here, looks very good. This is again because of the logic I have explained to you earlier. As you can see, our icon containers paint are starting at the exact position, right? Correct. And this is it, but not because our icons are getting hidden because of the absolute position moving around icon container. Correct. What do we want now? Right now, that our icon should be visible too, right? It's going to be very easy. To be very honest, just wait with me. This is our main component. We are going to one add icon animation. What it actually doing? We are saying that if you are selected, move one position ahead, okay, which is the bottom bar height, the constant I made earlier. So if the selected icon is here, we are going to translate like this. Go upwards, please. Why? I'm going to show you just a minute. And now we are going to do a very smart trick. We are going to add a duplicate bottom navigation bar. This bottom navigation bar will never be visible to user, but we need it because we are going to, so in a larger space, we got two bottom navigation bar and both of their icons will move upwards. That means we are going to uh, make a fool out of the user believing him that the icons are animating, but actually we are translating our icons. So as you can see, the animation is in place. The code here is nothing special, to be honest. As you can see, we are just using our animate icon container and this duplicate bottom bar. And actually, this is the same copy paste code, but the key is having a small unique thing, nothing special here. Now, as you can see, the animation is very fine. But I know you might have not understood what I was talking about. And thanks to this weird GIF, somehow it got spoiled. So as you can see, okay, to be very honest, I'm very sorry for it. How I don't know how did it happen. The GIF got broken. So as you can see, there is a secondary duplicate bottom navigation bar right below it, and we are just translating our icons. Thanks to overflow hidden, users are never going to see the actual icons which are moving out of the screen. And again, very sorry for the poor GIF. Somehow it got bad. Okay. Now, if you are making a nice bottom navigation bar, you need to handle keyboard pop-ups too. Why? Because as you can see, my keyboard is up and my bottom navigation bar is too. But that shouldn't be the case. What we need is that the bottom navigation bar should animate it out itself. So there's a bonus for you all. What we are going to do. Okay, so we need to understand our needs, right? We need a listener which says us whether the keyboard is visible or not. And whenever any text input is going to touch, we need to animate our bottom navigation bar out of the screen. Okay. And whenever the keyboard closes, the bottom navigation bar should be in place. Correct. So we are going to make this one nice custom hook, which I copy pasted from some open source. It does nothing special. It just gives me whether the keyboard is visible or not. Okay. So this was our main component. And sorry. Yeah. So what we are doing here that we are accepting one prop which is for active bar. Why? Because the active bar is the original navigation bar which the user is seeing, and for it go we need to multiply it by 2. So our bottom navigation bar goes like this. They are not overlapped to each other. Correct? So this is a very simple logic. We are like if the active bar is true, we are going the offset with bottom bar height into 2. That means double the translation. Otherwise, single translation is good. Correct? And next, we are going to add our function here. Correct? As you can see here, which is like handle keyboard animation for active bar true, for active bar false. So this will nicely animate our bottom navigation bar whenever the keyboard is visible. As you can, the keyboard comes in. Wait a minute. The keyboard comes in and the bottom navigation bar was gone. Okay. Now we are done with the bottom navigation bar, and thank you for sticking around.